Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to part 2 of this absolutely ridiculous, epic 1,000 ounce silver unboxing extravaganza which is going on in the Backyard Bullion household this week. So this is part 2. Part 1 I uploaded yesterday where I unboxed 3 of these huge parcels from goldsilver.be, which is part of the kind of group order which I arranged via the Silver Forum. So all of the information that you need to know about the group order and about what this is all about is in part 1. So go and check it out if you haven't already. Also make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, because after I'm finished unboxing this, over the coming weekend there will be a kind of feature about what everybody's bought, and we'll have a closer look at what 1,000 ounces of silver actually looks like once it's been organised, rather than just a giant pile of it on the table here. Now, as I unbox this, I have to say I am very sorry to everybody, because yesterday I thought I was unboxing 1,000 ounces, but as it turns out I wasn't. I had misread one of the communication emails from goldsilver.be, completely my fault, nothing to do with them, and I was expecting everything to be in those 3 parcels. So when I unboxed it all, and Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I kind of went through everything that was here, we had a look through it all, and we realised that there was a fair amount missing, and we thought, oh, what's going on? And then when I re-looked at the email that I'd got from goldsilver.be, it was fairly obvious that I'd made a little bit of a boo-boo, and I'd not been patient enough, so I was too eager to do all of this unboxing, and I had made a mistake. So we have here the final box to go through, which is good because I haven't actually sent out all of the other pieces, so we can still see 1,000 ounces of silver here on the table, which is obviously the goal of this ridiculously large group order. Now then, what have we got in here? So one of the benefits of having had that mini unboxing, that partial unboxing yesterday, was that I was able to go through pretty much, well, everything that was on the table with Mrs. Backyard Bullion, and we ascertained that everything is there that should be, which is good. So hopefully everything else that was missing off our spreadsheet will be in this last box, and then, well, by the time you're watching this, most of you probably will have had your silver delivered to you, but hopefully we'll have everything shipped out in the next couple of days. It is a pretty monumental task ahead of us to get all of this wrapped, sorted, packed, posted, and I want to thank in advance Mrs. Backyard Bullion for all of the help she does, and I know a lot of you out there on the Silver Forum are very grateful to everything that she does in this group order, and you know, she deserves it, and she also deserves the huge curry which we're going to treat ourselves to once we've finished arranging everything, because it takes a bloody age, I tell you. It's probably going to take us the better part of a couple of, well, certainly most of yesterday and probably the rest of today to get all of this packaged up. So now, while I'm unboxing this, what's an interesting thing I want to talk about? So yesterday I was talking a lot about why we do this order in the first place, why we order from Europe instead of buying from the UK. So if you want to go find out more about that, then go and check out part 1. But today I want to talk a little bit about, I mean, you can see here there's a lot of silver on the table. It's 1,000 ounces of silver to be precise, and that is an awful lot of silver. But when you kind of add it up in terms of monetary value, it's around about £20,000. I think the total order in terms of euros was about 21,500 or something like that. But I wanted to sort of, you know, pose to you guys that 1,000 ounces of silver is very heavy. It really is. Now, you know, the total weight of just the silver alone in here is something like 35 kilos, which is pretty ridiculous. And I have to say, from, you know, just a logistic point of view of organising this, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculously heavy. And, you know, if, like me, you're maybe stacking for the future and you're looking to invest across the next 25, 30 years for a pension pot, then stacking for that length of time is going to lead you to have a pretty large stack, depending on your budget, you know. But let's even with a modest budget, do some maths. If you are looking to stack, say, 10 ounces of silver over the course of every month, you know, that's going to be 120 odd ounces of silver a year. You know, it's only going to take you 8 years, if I'm doing my maths right, 9 years maybe, to get this much silver, to get 1,000 ounces. Now, that doesn't seem like a bad thing, but you know, from speaking from experience, that's a lot of silver to be storing and to you know, to keep safe in your home. Certainly, it's a lot of silver to move around if you were so inclined to move it around. If you wanted to, you know, move house, for example, you know, it would be a pretty laborious you know, thing to do. Gosh, these are all of the Oriental Britannias. Look at that, we've got a full box of them. you know, it would be a very, very hard thing to do to actually, you know, logistically move all of this silver, and certainly very heavy. And it's not something that you could just put in a backpack, you know, and walk around. Now, if you had the equivalent in gold, for example, so let's just do the math here. So, you know, 10 ounces of silver. Well, let's do the ratio. So at the moment, gold is around gold to silver ratio is 80:1. So that would mean that you're probably going to be looking at having, I don't know, like 18 or 19 ounces of gold. So let's put that in perspective. There's 20 of these 1 ounce silver Perth Mint bars in there. You either have nearly 1,000 of these, which would weigh an absolute ton, or you have 18, 19 or 20 of these which fit in one little thing. You know, this fits in your pocket, easy, done. You can walk down the street with it. You know, pretty paranoid walking down the street with it, but at the same time you'd be able to just bug out with it, and you'd be able to move wherever you wanted quickly and easily with that money. So it's a very interesting kind of thought thing. You know, if you are planning and stacking for the future, then you know, having this amount of silver is going to pose some interesting questions when you get to the other end. Certainly, if you're doing that 12 ounces, you know, 10 ounces a month or something, 120 ounces a year, you do that for 30 years, you're going to end up with a very large stack, which will obviously be quite a mission to actually organise. So it would be very interesting to hear everybody's thoughts on that, and what you know, what your situation might be with regards to you know, weight basically, and what you're going to be stacking, how you're going to be stacking it. You know, it's still fine in my opinion to be buying silver at the moment, and it would be a shame not to because of the gold-silver ratio. So it's always that interesting kind of conundrum, and you know, what's best for you is what's best for you at the end of the day. And if weight is not an issue, if perhaps you're in your forever home already and you're not going to be moving, house or anything like that, then you know, maybe having 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 ounces of silver is okay for you. Certainly for me, you know, it's something which I factor in quite considerably, and the last thing that I would want to do is to have, you know, so much silver that I can't then move it on if we were to move house. And certainly we would look to be having a kind of retirement forever home at that point in time. And it's one of those questions which is going to be very, you know, interesting for a lot of people. And you know, perhaps, you know, if you're investing in coins like these, which are the Oriental Britannias, so you've got 20 of them in this roll. Obviously, that's going to take up more space than 25 coins in a roll in a, you know, a tube like this. So there's different ways of doing it. There's different types of things that can be done. You know, another example might be that you've got a kilo coin, so having just stacked weight, large volume. So a kilo coin would be perhaps, you know, there's 32 ounces in there, so that perhaps takes up less volume maybe than a tube, I don't know. So it's worth having a look and having that calculation, but at the same time, you know, I think diversifying your stack is important. Having that kind of variety within your stack is also important, but ultimately it's going to be down to each of you internally. Certainly for me, as my strategy goes forward, you know, it's just going to be impractical having this kind of volume of silver out on the table. But for some people, it is what they want to do, and certainly at the moment it does seem like silver is very, very well priced compared with gold, and hopefully it will continue. So there we have it. Now, so that's 1,000 ounces. We have 1,000 ounces of silver on the table. This is absolutely ridiculous. So as I said, Mrs. Backyard Bullion's task, well, I say Mrs. Backyard Bullion's task, our task together now is just to sort through, hopefully I haven't mixed it up too much, but it's just to sort through everything that's come out of this last box here, make sure everything is here. I think it is by the looks of it from what we were expecting from our spreadsheet, and then we've got to organise it up into individual parcels, package it, or wrap it, package it, and get it out to you guys, hopefully by the time that you've seen this video. Now the plan for the weekend is to have a organised look at this, so we're going to now go through it all, organise it all, get it all out on the table, and have a good old grand tour of what we're going to be looking at here. Also, I have decided to feature something on this table as a special episode of In Focus Friday. So make sure that you basically subscribe so that you get to see what we're going to be looking at on Friday. It's not one to miss, let me tell you. Otherwise, thumbs up this video if you like it. That would be very helpful to everything that I do here on the channel, and share it around on your social media. That would be absolutely fantastic if you could do that. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is have a fantastic week ahead of you, and hope you have a great weekend as well. Thank you very much for watching, and please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.